And now we move on to the Nerd News Network.
Yes.
It felt like there wasn't a lot of news, but at the same time, there is a lot of news. It's been an odd one this week.
It was a kind of an influx over the past 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. So starting off, HBO expects The Last of Us will last for 4 seasons. That would be season 1 remastered, season 2, season 2 remastered.
Who did they use to do a remastered version of Pedro Pascal?
But I mean, that I guess it to an extent it makes sense. But bearing in mind the first game was 1 season, I don't know if I've not played them. I don't know. Does it seem insane to the people who have played the games to turn the second game into 3 seasons? I don't know.
Or are they going to stretch it past what the games have told?
David Bautista has said that he would only return as Drax for James Gunn. He's also said he'd like to move beyond big, muscly, dumb characters. Which I think he's proven he's got the acting chops for more than that.
Yes.
So I get why he'd kind of say that. It's one of the ones of like, never say never, but if he doesn't come out and go, I don't want to play them characters, he does risk falling into that typecast. If he goes, I'm not even going to consider them characters, they're going to look at his acting ability and go, oh, this man can act. We want him. Fine. Don't worry about the big dumb character. Let's give you someone of substance.
Yeah.
Rings of Power.
Yes.
Has officially been renewed for a 3rd season, and there will be a minor time jump from the end of season 2. Big concern for us off rip is how long are we going to be waiting for this now?
Well, it felt like forever we had to wait for season 2, and it's taken this long to greenlight season 3. I take that as maybe they struggled to be like lock down how the story was going to move forward, and like, because they've obviously got to pitch that of like, look, this is the story going forward, this is how many like, and them going, okay, we'll do a 3rd season. Like, they've obviously happy with it to want to do that. I get the time jump. It allows them, because this is something that we talked about a little bit when we were watching the show, of like, season does skip compared to the books, things are condensed. That's fine. And I think this time jump allows them a bit of leeway there to skip some of the stuff that in the books was fine to write about these stories that spanned a long time, but in a show would feel rubbish. It'll be interesting to see how big of a time jump and what they condense into the next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll have to wait and see.
Robert Pattinson has been smacking his lips. He had a chat with Deadline in which he said a couple of things pertaining to Batman 2. So, it will start filming at the end of the year. We've heard that before. I'm going to choose to actually believe it this time. He's seen the script now. He's heard the story from Matt Reeves. He's also very excited. Nice. Mimicking what we heard from Andy last week. And just the last one, which was a bit of a fun tidbit, he said, for the first time in my career, I have a lot of fans who are boys. I'm not used to that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Obviously, Twilight isn't huge in the male demographic, let's be honest.
Well, it's really funny, because me and Jenna want to go see his new film, Mickey 17. And we saw that on Sunday when we were going into London, or saw like adverts and stuff for it on Sunday when we were going into London from WSL. I was like, I used to give Robert Pattinson a lot of shit for being in Twilight. But I tell you what, he's actually a really good actor, and I like him in a lot of stuff. And like, he's the reason I want to go see Mickey 17, because he looks compelling in it. And then to see this a couple of days later, I'm like, oh, it's me.
Yeah, no. And like, it makes sense with Batman. But yeah, like when you think Twilight fan base to then Batman fan base, it is like the flip. So, hey.
You see it a lot with boy bands. Anything teen girls love because they find the boy cute. Teen boys fucking hate because you're stealing girls' attention. Like, every boy who grew up with a boy band hated the boy band because all the girls find you cute.
Also,
and that's why Justin Bieber hair was a thing, because all the girls love Justin Bieber.
Guys are also, in that period of like Twilight, you're going to think, Blade vampires. Yeah, that's cool. Sparkly vampire. No.
An interesting one that might get added to our ever-growing repertoire.
Yes.
A live-action D&D series is in the work at Netflix with Sean Levy attached as a producer.
Yes, sounds very interesting, and we love the D&D film, and hopefully it's similar to that. My only concern with this is it's tied to Netflix. And
We'll get one season
I'm
that's phenomenal and then they'll cancel it.
Yeah, I'm so scared for it to be an amazing show, be instantly hooked on this, and then after one season, like you say, they cancel it, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's good. It's nice to D&D getting so much love. I need them to greenlight 6 D&D film sequels, all with random A-list cast members. I need it to be treated like Knives Out. They literally roll dice and they then use that to work out what 6 random A, B, and C list celebrities they're getting, and then they just throw them in a D&D campaign.
I want them to do like the next one has Ian McKellen, but he's playing like a bard, not a wizard. Like, anything but a wizard. I think that would be hilarious. But
he's dressed as you would expect a wizard. And then like the reveal is he's not a wizard, he's like a barbarian.
Yeah.
Deadline has reported that numerous directors are being considered for Clayface, with a decision being imminent. It is expected to be a $40 million budget film that's quite horror-esque, following the story, quite a famous story of Clayface, where he is an aspiring actor who goes a bit off the rails by taking a drug. Kind of similar to what we saw in the Batman animated show, Crusader. Yeah. Kind of that vibe. Not like The Substance, like a lot of people are claiming the film was a direct rip-off of. This story existed first. The fact that it is in the grand scheme of superhero films, quite a small budget film, and they're going in a horror direction, makes me excited.
Well, Swamp Thing's also going gothic horror. So I like this idea that the heroes like this that do fit that more horror-esque film. Yeah. That James Gunn's like, yeah, let's just go horror. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah, I like. It's good. It's good, yeah. Den of Born Again Season 2 has begun filming. I think it was like 4 days ago it started filming.
We love this, though. The fact that they're already on to Season 2, I mean, we already knew they were doing multiple seasons, but the fact that we're going to probably have a very low wait time for Season 2 compared to most MCU projects. So, I mean, yeah, excited for this to get started as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Dune Messiah will reportedly begin filming in June. Not in Dune, in June.
Filming Dune in June.
It's so funny. I saw a post and it's like, you've got Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey already filming. You've got Dune Messiah already getting ready to film. And then it's just like, where is Batman Part 2? It's just heartbreaking, man.
End of the year.
The Wild Robot sequel is definitely in the works.
Yes.
This is very good news.
I haven't seen the first one, so I'm presuming the story ends in a way that sets up a sequel, potentially.
Could do. It doesn't need a sequel, but with how gorgeous it was and how compelling it was, it's one of them ones where I'm like, it didn't need one, but I'll take one.
Yeah.
Now, this was something that shook the internet in a number of different ways, and I kind of fell on the wrong side of Twitter for it.
Oh.
First, look at Matt Damon as Odysseus in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which, first and foremost, confirms Matt Damon is playing Odysseus.
Yes.
And it gives us our first look at anything. Now, my initial reaction was, that looked kind of cool. Then I fell onto Historian Twitter.
Oh, no.
Historians are not happy.
Uh-oh.
It is very historically inaccurate of what a person from that period of history would wear. They are very upset. Like, very upset.
I guess my pushback on that is like, is the book written as it is historically accurate? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think it looks
things
cool.
can be changed. Because
Yeah,
let's be honest.
it might be principal photography. Just to
Yeah, I
get
was
a
gonna
vibe.
say that is first costume, like first dress test. They're like, oh, like here we go. Let's take some photos. We can use it to be like first look. Like that is definitely a photo shoot. To take that costume could very easily be changed if they want to.
So I think the big point of contention was, and like I've noticed this in Hollywood films, I never realised it was a big issue though, is the big brush helmet.
Yeah.
They love the big brush helmet for anything set in this period of time.
Yep.
That big brush helmet is basically used for a very tiny bit of history, and not in this part of the world. It should have been like a leather cap almost.
Ah.
By the sounds of it, the armor is like completely all wrong. Historians are like sobbing on the floor. They thought they won getting the
Yeah.
Odyssey, and they're like, no, the costumes are dog shit.
The problem I see is I feel like Christopher Nolan is the sort of person to be like, I'm making my film how I want to make my film.
Yeah.
So,
Don't
I
get me wrong,
mean,
if the
I'm
film's
sure
good
the
enough,
film's going to slap.
does it matter? Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are people, and like just like we care about like
Superhero
we've
stuff.
got to remember like how like upset I get about really poor
Yeah.
costumes for my favourite superheroes. I imagine it's the
I
same.
get it.
But as when it's not your circus and your monkeys, you don't care. You're just like, this shit's awesome. So I get it. I saw you have some opinions on this. So I'll just give this title and then let you have your words. Max has rebranded again.
Yeah, so as we all know, the issue with the HBO into Max rebrand was that they picked the colour blue. Because no one likes the colour blue.
Famously, dog shit colour.
Famously, that is why they lost so many subscriptions. And do you know what will bring the people back? Being black and white. I mean, all I saw on the comments under the tweet that I like quote tweeted was just people being like, is it kind of just like, are they just doing a yearly rebrand now? Like, what is like, people like, I thought they already rebranded. It's such a weird, I don't get it. I don't. Because at least the blue still somewhat tied it back to Max.
Yeah,
Before,
I think it's
like,
more of this. I think it's more of this minimalism that we're seeing everywhere.
I will not lie, back in like when it was first like minimalism clean was sort of coming in, I was like, oh, I love minimalism. Like I don't like clutter. I've come to completely flip on that opinion. I hate that everything is minimalism now.
So I was exactly like you. When minimalism first became a thing, or not first started to get popular, I was like, oh my god, that looks lovely. You'd see like minimalist homes. I'm like, oh, it's so clean, it's so tidy. But once you like grow up a little bit, and I don't mean like it's a childish thing, but once you like have lived a little bit more, you are like, cool, it looks gorgeous. It's so much effort to keep it looking that tidy that it's unrealistic and it will stress you out. Well, I have flipped on its head. Although I don't buy shit for the sake of it, I like maximalism. I want lots of colour. I want lots of things. And it's not even like in I want to buy loads of things and consumerism. I want my home to feel lived in. I want someone to open the door and go, yes, someone lives here and it is their comfy, safe place.
The problem was our generation saw minimalism and produced millennial grey. And unfortunately, that is the legacy we are going to leave behind.
I'm not a millennial, thank you very much.
Okay. My generation is leaving behind millennial grey.
And we will never forgive you for it.
my sister has picked some grey in her house. I'm like, millennial grey. And she's like, what's that? And I explained it. She was like, oh my god. So then she has like green in a lot of places now.
I used to hate green. Green is a very good colour if you find a nice shade.
Yeah,
I think a lot green. I feel like a lot of like the greens you like find easily are the horrible greens.
Warm, earthy tones are the best. Anyway, White needs to rebrand again, and a colour like that's not your issue.
It's such a nothing rebrand to make a big deal out of as well. They could have just changed the colour and no one would have noticed.
You've got bigger issues like making your platform work.
Now this is a fun bit of news. Marvel executive Brad Winderbaum has revealed they are considering bringing back more of Netflix's Defenders, i.e. Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Daredevil crew. This is great timing, as I'm currently binging everything in time for Daredevil Born Again. So I finished Luke Cage season 1 today.
Oh, nice.
So I'm making good headway.
Is it still good?
Yeah, honestly, fuck's
Because Luke
incredibly
Cage
hard.
was the other one that was like a solid show.
Season 1 of everything other than Iron Fist was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 of Daredevil and Jessica Jones was still good. Can't remember Luke Cage season 2. I don't know if I watched it. Season 3 of Daredevil is still good. Everything else struggled a little bit as it was the back end when Netflix knew they didn't have much longer left.
Yeah.
And they stopped caring a little bit.
Well,
but a lot of it holds up incredibly well. I finished Luke Cage season 1, and one of the things I'd forgotten about was obviously Cottonmouth owns the club. And a lot of the time for like montage scenes, he would be like auditioning an act for the club.
Yeah.
And they would use their live performance as the backing music for the montage. And I forgot how beautifully that worked. So yeah, no, it holds up incredibly well.
This is something I talked about when we were talking about Daredevil Born Again. I was like, I wonder if they try and give Iron Fist another go, let that act have another chance. It seems like
Punisher's in it.
They might. Yeah, we know Punisher's back. I think
the rumors were incredibly high that
the
Jessica Jones actress was on set, although no pictures got leaked. There is like she was there is like as close to fact as you can get without evidence.
I could see them bringing Jessica Jones back first because I feel like she could easily tie into Daredevil's Born Again stuff, and then if I'm MCU, I'd take the ballsy punt at Iron Fist.
I'm only taking a punt at Iron Fist if I'm doing Heroes for Hire.
Fair.
And if they want to announce Heroes for Hire, I will pretend that I always loved Iron Fist and I never had any issues. I will flip so quickly and act like I always wanted it.
Luke Cage is like, we know that they'll probably do a solid effort with that, and it'll be good if he comes back. Bringing Iron Fist back would be can you do this right this time? Like, take the chance.
What is the next show I need to watch? I'm very curious to see if like some of the poor stuff we've had in more recent years has made me. He's gonna make me look on this with kinder eyes and go, you know what? This isn't that bad.
I thought this was bad, and then we got Madam Web, and now this looks amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem is I'm watching it alongside the other shows, which are so good. It might remind me of how much worse it is than the stuff it was coming out alongside. But that is exciting. I would like to see the Defenders back again, especially as I'm petitioning for more street level stuff in the MCU. They are the perfect people for it.